Okay, maximizing space. So I like this part of the presentation because it kind of clumps together a lot of things to maximize the best value and space you get in your home. So there's 5 parts of this. The first part goes back to a house I grew up in when I was a teenager. My dad built this home, we helped frame it, and my brothers and I, we were about 12 or 13 down to 8 years old. We climbed in and out of all the secret areas we could find in here. And one of our favorite spots was right over the garage. And we kept asking my dad, well, why didn't you build this as a room? You know, this is huge. Well, nowadays, people use that space and put attic trusses in quite a bit. And you build it right into the truss system. So I have clients ask me all the time, well, how much does that cost? What am I going to add to my plan? Or if I have an existing home, what would it cost to add that on? Existing homes are a little bit different. So let me use an example of a new home taking this kind of a roof and changing it into a bedroom. So here's the experiment that I ran. Here's an 812 roof pitch. So it's got a little bit of steepness on it, and it's 24 feet wide, and I need 10 of those trusses in order to span over that garage. Okay, it costs $600 from Burton Lumber for that roof package. Now, I want to make that a living space. So now there's a room up inside there. It's 12 feet wide. It is still an 812 pitch, so the same pitch, but I've added a 3-foot, what's called a 3-foot heel. So I've given myself a little more headroom in there, all right? Now the trusses, I still have the same number, but the price is almost doubled because now I've had to add some engineering in here. I've had to make this thicker for a floor. So double the price, it's now $1,325 for the same trusses, but now there's a room in there. But we need a little bit more if we're gonna live in there, right? So here's all the line item list of stuff that we'll need. We'll have to drywall it, we'll have to paint it, we'll put carpet, windows, we want to heat and cool it. Plus we need a stair system to get up to it. So there's some framing involved. All of those numbers added up to about $5,000 to get my room. Divide that by the 12 by 20 foot bedroom and it comes out to be about $22 a foot. Now you might say, whoa, that's, you know, I just heard from my builder that it cost $140 a foot to build, and you're right. So this becomes a very good value when you price it out on a cost per foot basis. All right? Any questions about above garage bonus rooms? All right, the next one is under your garage. A lot of times people forget cities put restrictions on how tall you can build your house, but they haven't put restrictions on how deep you can dig. All right? So here's an example of a suspended slab concrete system. So these are poured out at a plant. They're 8 inches thick of concrete. They have steel. You can see the little dots right here. And then it's hollow through the middle. So they're relatively lightweight, but they're very strong. It's like a concrete bridge. Here's a system being installed over a storage room. So the garage, he'll drive his car in and set it on top of this after they fill in all the pieces. This system cost about $10 a foot to build. The concrete walls are a little more expensive because you're building them taller. And if you go over 10 feet, then the cost of those concrete walls start to go up. But the cost for this system is pretty economical. And to build a room under your garage is, again, about $30 to maybe $40 a foot, compared to $100 a foot or $60 for a basement. You know, it's basically like basement footage, all right? You can do some cool things under there. This is a home we did in the Parade of Homes in 2008, I think, or 2009. 2008, and they did a basketball court. Now this is not an economical thing to do. I don't want to get you off track. This cost the builder about $120,000 to do just that section of garage because the concrete walls, once you get past 10 feet, they get thicker walls and you add bigger steel in the walls. All right, but if you just want an extra room under your garage, 10 feet tall, 9 feet tall, something like that, $30 to $40 a foot is what you can finish with drywall in a room like that. Now, if you throw a $50,000 home theater in there, your cost just went way up, right? But it's pretty efficient space. Any questions about under garage space? Okay. Have you ever gone through a home that makes you feel like you're the mouse looking for the cheese because it has so many hallways? You can waste a lot of space in hallways. So I like to advise my clients, we live differently than we did like in homes in Sugar House that were built in the 40s and 50s. We remodel a lot of those and we gut the whole interior and then put some rooms that open to other spaces. So here's an example of a home that has virtually no hallways. You kind of wander through the kitchen, great room. You've got a mud room, laundry, This is probably the only area you would consider a hall, but I call it a privacy cove because it goes right into the master bedroom. Virtually no hallways at all. So the more you can minimize hallways on your home, the more you're going to use that space to your advantage. Using cantilevers, I touched on that a little bit ago, but this is what a cantilever is. Think of it like a diving board. You're going to use this space without pouring your foundation underneath it. Okay, so cantilevers are a good way to get some extra square footage without not following my rule about foundation corners. So this foundation or underneath wall could be a straight wall, but you could bump these out 2 feet or even 3 feet. This one shows maybe 3 to 4 feet. I wouldn't go that far because it starts to get springy, but it's very easy to go a couple feet out. Like here's that same foundation that's squared up, but these dotted lines allow this homeowner to get a little more room in a bedroom, a bathroom here, 2 more feet in their master walk-in closet, and then 2 more feet in their dining room. And that's pretty cheap space. You pay for the roofing a little bit, but you save the money on the on the foundation. So in some instances, this is a very good, inexpensive way to get a little more footage in your house. All right? Any questions about cantilevers? All right, room sizes. So back when I was in high school, my best friend and I worked for his girlfriend's dad, laying carpet and tile and linoleum and things like that on the weekends. And it always bugged me when we'd go into this house and lay carpet and the room was like 13 feet wide, because we'd have to seam an extra 12 inches of carpet. And I thought, man, why didn't the architect know that they were having carpet in 12-foot rolls and we could just lay this out and we wouldn't have to spend all that time burning ourselves. And so if you have the opportunity and you don't need more than, if you've got a room that's between 12 foot and 13 feet, I would recommend going 12 feet in that one direction so you can roll that carpet out in one roll, all right? It just saves a little more time, a little more effort. Not that every room in your house has to follow every one of these rules, but let's say you have a kid's bedroom and you can put 13 feet in the bedroom or add an extra foot to your kitchen or your great room. I would put it in the rooms you're gonna spend more time in, all right? So if you follow these 5 rules, when you walk in your house, this is what it should feel like. You ready, Paul? I love magic. It'll feel like magic, really. You'll walk in your house, it'll look small from the street, but you'll have tons of space on the inside.